Welcome to WD Electronics. In this installation guide, we're taking you step by step through the Signal Pro turn signal kit for 2018 and newer Polaris Ranger 1000 and XP 1000 models. This video covers the following front turn signal options: round amber LEDs, sequential LEDs, replacement headlights, and replacement auxiliary lights. This turn signal kit includes the WD Signal Pro control module with customizable self-canceling, hunting mode, installation mode, diagnostic LEDs, and more. Let's get started. Start by tilting the windshield up all the way. Release the two locking tabs on the center hood panel by twisting them and pulling the hood forward. Next, remove the driver's side hood panel. Start by removing the T40 bolt closest to the grille. Remove the T25 bolt closest to the windshield. Remove the two T40 bolts located under the wheel well. Remove the push pin in the door jamb. Gently slide the hood panel forward to release the locking clips. The driver's side panel will remain tethered to the vehicle by a washer hose and an antenna cable. Be gentle when lifting the panel and do not attempt to fully remove it. Carefully rest the panel aside without straining the connection. Repeat the disassembly steps on the passenger side to remove the hood panel. This panel is not tethered to anything and can be fully removed. Next, remove the instrument cluster. Start by removing the two push pins on the back of the instrument cluster housing. Slide the instrument cluster towards the steering wheel to release it from the dash panel. Disconnect the gray connector from the back of the cluster. Set the instrument cluster safely aside. Locate the column switch and its corresponding bracket from the turn signal kit. Attach the bracket to the column switch using the included bolts. Remove the 10mm nut from the steering column assembly using a 10mm socket and a 4mm Allen wrench. Slide the provided U-shaped bracket over the steering column with the open end facing down. Position the bracket mounting point over the bolt and reinstall the factory nut. Adjust the switch so it's parallel to the steering wheel, then fully tighten the nut to secure it in place. Route the white connector from the newly installed column switch into the central dash opening, underneath the instrument cluster area. Locate the Signal Pro control module from your kit. Using the included zip ties, secure the module to the frame in the cavity under the instrument cluster. Make sure it is not secured to any moving components. Locate the main bouquet harness in your kit. Plug its large connector into the corresponding port on the Signal Pro. Ensure the connector is fully seated and you hear an audible click. Identify the column switch connector on the bouquet harness and connect it to the column switch wire you routed in the previous step. Verify the connectors click into place. Now, it's time to install the front turn signal lights. If you purchased the 6 LED harness, skip ahead to this time in the video. If you purchased the auxiliary lights, skip to this time. If you purchased the replacement headlights, skip to this time. And if you purchased the sequential LED strips, skip ahead to this time in the video. Locate the 6 LED harness. Route the 8-pin connector through the central firewall grommet behind the air intakes. Route the 8-pin connector to the main bouquet harness and connect it to the mating connector. Verify the connectors click into place. Separate the harness legs and route the side with the driver's side label along the factory headlight wiring path to the area beneath the driver's side headlight. Repeat on the passenger side. You may be creative and mount the LEDs wherever you like, provided there is 2 to 3 inches of space behind your desired mounting location and the harness will reach. Our recommended mounting location is shown here. Before drilling, verify there are no mounting points or anything that can be damaged behind your selected location. Once you've chosen your location, mark and drill 3 3/4-inch holes under each front headlight. Once you've selected and drilled the holes for the LEDs, route the wire following the frame under the headlight housing. Install the 3 LEDs on each side by pulling the rubber grommet off each LED and down onto the wires. Next, feed each LED through the back of the holes you drilled. Now feed each rubber grommet through the back side of the holes. Install each rubber grommet into the holes, making sure they are fully seated. Next, push the LEDs into each rubber grommet to secure them in place. Secure the wiring to factory wiring where possible and along the frame with the included zip ties. Now that those lights are installed, skip ahead to this time in the video to continue the installation. If your machine is equipped with factory auxiliary lights, remove the 3 10mm bolts in the black connector from the back of the lights. Remove the factory auxiliary lights. Locate the WD auxiliary lights, auxiliary light harness, and hardware kit with bolts, U-clips, and zip ties. Attach 3 of the 6 included U-clips to the mounting tabs behind the bumper. Ensure the threaded nut side of the U-clip is facing toward the front of the vehicle. Insert the rubber seal into the auxiliary light opening in the bumper. Position the driver's side auxiliary light into the opening. Hand start the 3 10mm bolts into the U-clips. Use a 10mm socket to tighten the bolts. Adjust the rubber seal so it sits flush with the bumper. Repeat the installation on the passenger side. Route the auxiliary light harness under the hood through the driver's side headlight wiring opening. Continue routing the connectors down the frame to the front bumper. Connect the small black connector and the single pin connector on the short side of the harness to the driver's side auxiliary light. Verify both connectors click into place. Continue routing the longer end of the harness underneath both vertical brush guard supports across the machine to the passenger side. Connect the harness to the passenger side auxiliary light. Secure the harness to the brush guard above the winch using the two provided edge clip zip ties. Secure the harness behind the driver's side auxiliary light using one of the provided edge clip zip ties. Secure the harness to the frame under the hood using a hole type zip tie and a regular type zip tie. Locate the 8-pin extension harness. Connect the 8-pin connector on the auxiliary light harness to the mating connector on the 8-pin extension harness. Verify the connectors click into place. Disconnect the rocker switch from the harness. Route the extension harness and the rocker switch socket through the center firewall grommet. Under the dash, connect the extension harness to the mating connector on the bouquet harness. Verify the connectors click into place. Locate an open switch slot in the dash. Install the socket through the back of the switch opening. Reinstall the rocker switch into the socket. Verify the numbers on the switch match the numbers on the socket. Install the switch into the switch opening. Locate an open position on the pulse bar. Remove the dust cap and connect the 3-pin connector on the harness to the vehicle's pulse bar. Verify the connectors click into place. Secure the relay and all excess wiring under the dash with the included zip ties. Now that those lights are installed, skip ahead to this time in the video to continue the installation. Disconnect the factory electrical plug from the back of the factory headlight. Remove the top T25 headlight adjustment screw. Next, remove the two lower T25 headlight adjustment screws located in the wheel well. Remove the factory headlight. Install the new replacement headlight using the original factory T25 screws. Repeat the installation on the driver's side. Locate the replacement headlight harness. Route the 8-pin connector through the center firewall grommet. Route the 8-pin connector to the main bouquet harness and connect it to the mating connector. Verify the connectors click into place. Connect the factory headlight plug to the replacement light. Verify the connector clicks into place. Route the red wire and the white wire with the driver's side label to the driver's side headlight. Connect the red wire on the harness to the red wire on the headlight, and the white wire on the harness to the brown wire on the headlight. On the passenger side, connect the black wire on the harness to the red wire on the headlight, and the white wire on the harness to the brown wire on the headlight. Secure the wiring to the factory harnesses with zip ties. Now that those lights are installed, skip ahead to this time in the video to continue the installation. Start by loosening the two lower headlight adjustment screws to create a gap between the headlight housing and the front plastics. Feed the plug on the LED strip towards the center of the dash and slide the strip into the gap. Tighten the adjustment screws to secure the strip. Repeat the installation on the passenger's side. Locate the LED strip wiring harness. Route the 8-pin connector through the center firewall grommet. Route the 8-pin connector to the main bouquet harness and connect it to the mating connector. Verify the connectors click into place. Route the labeled harness legs to their respective LED strips and connect them using the blue screw-down connectors. Secure the wiring to the factory harnesses with zip ties. Now, we will install the rear taillight adapters. Depending on the trim of your machine, you will use either a 4-pin taillight adapter or an 8-pin taillight adapter. The 8-pin taillight adapter is used in this video, but use whatever connector is applicable to your specific trim. Tilt the dump bed up all the way. Locate the main taillight connector in the center of the frame. Disconnect it by depressing the locking tab and sliding the connectors free. Install the inline taillight adapter between the two factory connectors. Verify both connectors click into place. To prepare for routing the wiring harness to the rear of the machine, remove the center floor panels. Remove the 4 push pins on each side of the front center tunnel. Lift the passenger's seat. Remove the storage compartment under the center of the bench seat. Remove the 2 push pins from the front passenger's side panel under the center storage compartment. Before fully removing the front tunnel cover, disconnect the 3 HVAC hoses, 2 under the front seat and 1 in the passenger's side footwell. If your machine is a 4-door model, remove the 4 push pins on each side of the rear center tunnel cover and remove it from the machine. Before fully removing the rear tunnel cover, take a photo of the orientation of the wires, then disconnect the 2 wires for the auxiliary power outlet. Set the panels aside. Locate the long black cable at the bouquet harness connected to the control module. Route its bullet connector ends through the center firewall grommet into the hood compartment. When routing the wire, verify it is kept away from any hot or moving components. Continue routing the cable down along the factory conduit under the center tunnel all the way to the dump bed area at the rear of the machine. Locate the long black cable near the engine. Continue routing the cable following the factory wiring to the taillight adapter. Connect the bullet terminals from the rear harness to the taillight adapter installed earlier. Verify the plastic insulation is fully covering the terminals. Secure the entire length of the rear harness to the factory wiring using zip ties. Locate the horn and mounting bracket. Mount the horn to the bracket in the desired orientation using the included nut. You may need to slightly bend the bracket to ensure the hood can close without interference. On the driver's side near the radiator, remove the T30 bolt from the factory antenna mount. Install the horn bracket between the antenna base and the frame, then reinstall the T30 bolt. Locate an available rocker switch opening in the dash. If mounting in the center dash rocker switch slots, remove the 2 push pins at the bottom of the panel. Gently release the panel by pulling from the bottom. Remove the desired rocker switch blank. Locate the horn and hazard combination rocker switch harness. Disconnect the rocker switch and route the socket through the back of the opening. Reconnect the rocker switch, verifying the numbers on the rocker switch match the numbers on the socket. Clip the rocker switch into place in the switch opening. Route the harness from the switch to the bouquet harness. Connect the 8-pin connector to its mating connector and verify they click into place. Locate the horn extension harness. Connect the 2-pin connector to the mating 2-pin connector coming from the horn and hazard combination harness. Verify the connectors click into place. Route the 2 spade connectors under the dash to the center firewall grommet. Continue routing the spade connectors to the horn housing following factory wiring. Connect the spade connectors to the horn housing. These connections are reversible and may be connected in either direction. Secure any wiring to the factory wiring harness with zip ties. Locate the license plate mounting bracket. Hold the bracket up to the frame and verify the plate will not hit anything when the dump bed is tilted up. Mount the bracket to the frame of the vehicle using self-tapping screws. If your local laws require full plate visibility, you may need to remove the vehicle's drip guard or find an alternative mounting location. Now we will prep your license plate for the frame. To fit the license plate into the frame, you will need to trim the plate with scissors or side cutters to create a notch for the wire to exit the frame. Attach the license plate and LED frame to the mounting bracket using the included hardware. Verify no wires are being pinched before fully securing. Locate the license plate power cable. Tilt the dump bed and connect the 2-pin connector to the mating connector on the taillight adapter. Route the bullet connectors following the factory taillight wiring to the license plate frame. Connect the bullet connectors to the LED frame. Verify they are connected red to red and black to black, and that the insulation is fully covering the connections. Secure the wire to the factory wiring harness using zip ties. Before starting this step, disconnect the negative battery cable from the battery to prevent blowing any fuses during installation. Locate the connector you removed from the instrument cluster. Remove the gray cover from the front side of the pins by depressing the white locking tabs on each side and sliding it free. Open the back of the connector by separating the two halves. Remove the blue plastic pin inserts from slots number 6 and 7. Locate the instrument cluster harness with 2 pins. The black wire will insert into position 6, and the red wire will insert into position 7. Insert the pins from the harness into the connector and make sure they line up evenly with the other existing pins. Reinstall the gray cover onto the connector and close the other half, verifying no wires are being pinched. Route the 4-pin connector to the bouquet and connect it to the mating connector. Verify the connectors click into place. Locate the power cable. Route the 2-pin connector to the center of the dash and through the center firewall grommet. Route the 2-pin connector to the main bouquet harness and connect it to the mating connector. Verify the connectors click into place. Choose an open position on the pulse bar and remove the dust cap. Install the mating connector on the power cable into the pulse bar. Verify the connector clicks into place. Secure all extra wiring from the installation under the dash. Reconnect the instrument cluster and the battery, and you're ready to test your turn signals. To check your work on the installation and verify everything is functioning properly, we recommend putting the Signal Pro control module into installation mode. To learn how to do this, follow the instructions included in the turn signal kit. To ask us installation-related questions or to order a premium turn signal kit, please visit wdelectronics.com.